Well, maybe so, but I didn't forget this is our anniversary. Happy anniversary, darling.
Ben, the neighbors. There's a man in that car right across the street.
Let him get his own girl.
Yes? Aren't you the man who...
Hello, Jean.
Hello, Mr. Forbes.
I'm a little late for my appointment with Mr. Markham. Has my wife gotten here yet?
No, she hasn't. Mr. Markham's running a bit behind schedule, too.
Well, this is the end of a long road, Mr. Markham.
Nice of you to come by, Mr. Craig. It really wasn't necessary. You could have mailed this.
It isn't very often Americans steal and carbide parts with an amount like that for a private detective. Well, thanks again, Markham. And for the education in the fine arts.
You're very welcome.
Hello, Roy.
Oh, hello, Ben.
Here's the letter on the Thompson matter. I hope you have more luck running the writer down than my office did.
Luck is something that happens when preparation meets opportunity, to quote some tiresome philosopher.
I still say you're 90% lucky, though your price is so high everybody thinks you're a genius.
Am I keeping you?
No, I just told Carolyn to meet me here. She's late.
Late? For cocktails? Most uncivilized.
It's a year ago today for us, you know.
Oh, that's right. I forgot all about it. It's your anniversary, isn't it? Congratulations.
Thanks. How about joining us this evening?
No, thanks.
Well, you introduced us after all.
No, I wouldn't
come
dream
on.
of butting in on two lovebirds. But I can mix cocktails and offer a very poetic and maudlin toast when the bride arrives.
Fine, I'm all for that.
Good.
Mind if I call home and see if Carolyn's delayed or something?
Go ahead.
Jean? Would you get me Oakwood 55333 in Millport, please? What a fool I was. If I'd known it was as wonderful as this, I'd gotten married years ago.
Then you wouldn't have married Carolyn.
What? It is. Well, keep trying, will you? Thanks.
No answer?
That's strange. The line's busy.
Maybe it's the help.
Well, mate's day off. Carolyn's never late, never stands me up.
Well, perhaps she figures you've had a year of bliss and it's now time to disillusion you.
Could be a repairman or someone on the line.
So you sure you say you'd meet her at this office or at your office?
No, I'm sure I said here. I'll call my office and make certain. Gene, I'd like to speak to my office, please. Oh, and while I'm talking, would you see if my home phone's out of order? 2 tickets for 3 quiet, lazy, sun-kissed weeks on Waikiki Beach. No phones, no clients, no courtrooms. A little anniversary present for Carolyn. Hello, Dorothy. Has Mrs. Forbes shown up or called in yet?
No, Mr. Forbes, I haven't seen or heard from her. But there's a man been calling. He says it's urgent. He wants to talk to you about Mrs. Forbes.
What's his name?
He didn't leave his name. He said he'd call again in 10 minutes.
I'll be right over, Dorothy. Thanks.
Well, where is this rigidly punctual wife of yours?
Something must have come up. I have to get back to my office.
I'm sorry I didn't get to congratulate her. Give her my regards anyway.
Well, sure, Roy. And thanks just the same for the drink.
Oh, Mr. Forbes. The supervisor reports that your phone must be off the hook.
Thanks, Gene.
That same man is calling again.
Hello.
Ben Forbes,
Yes, this is Ben Forbes.
are you alone?
Yes, I'm alone. Who is this? What do you want?
I want you to listen very careful and good because I would rather have my wife living than your wife dead.
My wife dead. What are you talking about?
Shut up and listen. You're a smart lawyer. You do a lot of talking in court, but I'm doing the talking now. Do you remember Lorene Guthrie?
Yes, I remember Lorene Guthrie.
I'm her husband. I've taken your wife.
You're lying.
Shut up and listen.
All right, I'm listening.
You have 3 days to get my wife back to me, or you don't get your wife back. And get this, too. You'll just sit still. You won't call the cops or any of your fancy connections. If I so much as smell the law messing around this, your wife has had it. I'll call you later.
Hello? Guthrie, hello?
Mr. Forbes.
Call Roy Markham. Tell him I'm going to pick him up right away.
Yes, sir.
Carolyn? Carolyn? She's not upstairs.
Everything indicates she was taken from here.
I'll call the neighbors. They might have seen something. I kid myself. Guthrie was telling the truth.
He must have taken her just after you left for work.
There was an old car parked out front when I left. Carolyn noticed it.
What make of car? What color?
I don't remember. I made some smart crack about it. I'd have slaughtered a witness for being so unobservant.
Now, look, Ben, you go call the neighbors. They might have been more observant than you. I'll take a look outside. Hey. Yeah. S.U. Sue.
No. Nothing's wrong, Clemens. Thanks very much. I just thought you might have seen something. Nobody knows anything. I'll keep on trying. Who are you calling?
The police.
No. He'll kill her. He said if I went to the police, he'd kill her.
Ben, you're an attorney. You know they always say that. Kidnappers and extortionists. They always threaten you with that if you want to go to the police. That's because they're afraid of them.
I'm not advising a client now. This is a personal matter. And I'm not going to take a chance with Carolyn.
I see. The doctor won't take his own medicine.
If I wanted the police, I'd have gone to them. I came to you.
All right, then tell me something about Guthrie. Something about his wife.
Well, Lorene Guthrie came to me a few months ago for a divorce. She described Guthrie as a strange, moody, emotionally unstable man. I filed the divorce for her, and she goes to court in 5 or 6 days. I took it as a charity case. I felt sorry for her.
What does Guthrie want besides his wife? How much?
Nothing. He just wants Lorene. He wants me to talk her into going back to him. If she doesn't, I don't get Carolyn back.
Well, I suppose most men become emotionally disturbed at a time of separation and divorce, but this fellow seems to come apart completely.
What do you mean?
Well, in the first place, he's made no attempt to hide his identity. He's obviously overlooked the fact that he's become a kidnapper.
He just wants his wife back. You're not very rational at a time like that.
And secondly, he wants no ransom.
He just wants his wife back, Roy.
Then why does he pick on you to bring her back? Does he think that you're responsible for the divorce, maybe?
Me?
Or is it his warped sense of justice? You talked her into leaving him, therefore you talked her into coming back.
I only did what the woman begged me to.
I know, but Guthrie won't believe that. What man wants to think his wife walks out on him for a valid reason?
Nobody in his right mind would hold me responsible.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Now, wait a minute, Roy. You're always fascinated by twisted minds, poking around in muddled emotions. You don't know anything about this man, Guthrie. I just said he was moody.
Suppose he gets his wife back. What then? He'll be a hunted man. A kidnapper facing a death sentence. I'm sorry, Ben. He's more than moody. This is not a rational human being you're dealing with.
Thank you, Joe.
Oh, hello, Roy. Hello, Harry. You got something going?
Yeah, started the minute you gave the word.
Well, I phoned as soon as I could get away from Ben. Didn't dare tell him I was coming to see you. He'd have done something foolish.
Well, whether he likes it or not, we're in. I've notified the FBI, too.
Oh? How long before they make a move?
Oh, 24 hours, unless we clean it up earlier.
Were you able to get Sergeant Packer put on the case?
Couldn't keep him off once he heard you were involved.
Oh, wonderful.
He's due here any time.
Good. One of those road checks?
No, sukiyaki restaurants.
Oh? And those matchsticks I found outside Forbes' house did come from a Japanese restaurant.
Yeah. New York police are running down Japanese places there, too.
Uh-huh.
Also checking out both Guthrie and his wife.
Oh, hello, John. I'm glad you're on this.
It's always a pleasure, Mr. Markham.
Captain Snyder, Sergeant Packer, you know him?
Oh, yeah, we talked over the phone.
How are you, Captain?
Finding the restaurants, Japanese cuisine.
Thousands.
They all use those matches?
Somebody's got a monopoly. I got a hunch, though.
What?
Well, there's one Japanese place just off the Merritt Parkway. It's the kind you might easily drop into driving back and forth between here and New York.
Well, that's interesting.
It's near Billiston.
I have an idea.
Sure.
May I borrow him?
Why not? I borrowed him from New York.
Forbes is coming to my office in an hour. Now, he'll accept the fact that I have a new assistant, Packer, here. Now, I'll squeeze him of all the information I can, and he can listen in.
Fine with me.
And me.
Good. Let's go. See you, Harry.
So long, Roy.
Bye, Captain.
See you. You got everything on the divorce case?
Yes. Who's he?
Oh, this is one of my assistants, John Packer. This is Ben Forbes.
How do you do?
How long have you been with Markham?
Well, I'm fairly new.
New on the job, Ben, but an old and trusted friend.
I'm sorry. Here's the file. Roy, I'm almost out of my mind. Called everyone who might know anything. Lorraine Guthrie has vanished. I don't know where to locate her, and it's all my fault.
What do you mean?
Lorraine was terrified of Guthrie. I told her to disappear. I advised her to change her name, dye her hair, everything. I didn't expect to see her till the case came up.
Ben, Packer here seems to think that those matchsticks we found came from a restaurant near Billiston.
Well, so what?
Lorraine Guthrie goes to court in 5 days for the divorce in Millport, which is near Billiston. Now, chances are she's near there somewhere. Guthrie knows this, so he'd be around there, too. This Guthrie?
Yes, we use it for identification purposes in serving it.
Well, now we know what he looks like. Put this in the files of the other papers. Oh, and Packer, you better go home. It's near dinner time.
Yeah, sure. I'll see you in the morning. Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Well, this is the last Japanese place in the vicinity of Billiston. We've covered all the others.
This bird we're looking for doesn't eat Japanese food all the time, does he?
Now, from the little we know of him, he favors the joints and dives, pretty much.
There are plenty like that along the Sound. On the fishing piers and waterfront, but none of us can show around there. We're too well known.
Okay, then I'll take the piers myself. You fellas stay with this place. And if you spot Guthrie, don't do anything until you call, huh?
Sure be a big help if we could flash his picture around.
No, can't. It's too much of a tip-off.
What do you have?
Cup of coffee and a cheeseburger.
How about a drink?
No, thanks.
Okay, cheeseburger and coffee coming up. Oh, hi.
Hi.
How's Forbes doing?
Forbes in my office now, going through the classified telephone directory. I said I'd meet him back at his house at midnight. Right now, he's calling every apartment house in Lower Connecticut, asking for Lorraine Guthrie.
Well, it's a cinch she's changed the name.
Probably, but it keeps Ben busy. What have you been able to dig up here?
Nothing.
Lorraine Guthrie didn't lose herself in a panic. She changes her name, moves, and dyes her hair. Then what does she do? Just sit and wait to go to court? She's not a rich woman. Guthrie didn't give her any maintenance.
Forbes' file said she used to work in a beauty parlor.
Right. I think that's where we'll find her now.
You mean you want to start running down beauty parlors?
If she worked as a beauty operator in New York, and she wanted to get a job in this state, she'd have to take a test to get a license.
Give me the license bureau. Beauty parlors. And if they're not open, make sure I get them first thing in the morning.
Shouldn't be many with the first name of Lorraine in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
I'm sorry I bothered you. I said I was sorry. Yes? Yes, operator. Long distance? Well, I'm sorry, but Mr. Markham isn't here right now, but I expect to see him shortly. Can I have him call you back? A payphone. Maple 35111. All right, operator, thanks. I'll give it to him. Wait a minute. Maple is a Billiston exchange, isn't it? You know the name of the place? Never mind, operator. Long distance? Get me Maple 35111 in Billiston. What are you doing here?
Hello, Mr. Forbes.
You're looking for him. In spite of everything I told Roy, you're looking for him.
Calm down, will you?
If Guthrie ever finds you snooping around Billiston...
Shut up, will you?
Ignorant fool!
Okay, Mr. Out. And you, too. We don't want no beefs in here, see?
I'm just looking for a guy.
Beat it!
Oh, me, mister.
I said beat it.
Hi, Jack.
Hi. There was a couple of guys in here just now.
Yeah?
Yeah, they had a beef about something. Your name come up. I had to toss one of them out on his ear.
Did you know them?
That wasn't my type. One of them was a Forbes, I think. How will you have?
Skip it. I just remembered something very important I had to do.
I know all about it. Packer phoned me.
You told me you wouldn't do anything like that. If Guthrie had seen him, Carolyn wouldn't be alive this minute.
If anything happens to your wife, you're to blame, not Packer.
You sent him up there, I didn't.
He was just another guy having coffee. Nobody would have noticed him. You created the scene, Ben.
I thought I could trust you.
Listen to me. You may be a very fine lawyer in a divorce court. You may be a very smart man. But in a case like this, you're entirely out of your depth. You can do tremendous harm with your bungling. Now, either you let me handle this my way or else you get somebody else.
Yes? Yes, of course I recognize who this is.
Do you know what you almost did? You came close to getting your wife killed.
But I came there to tell you.
You've seen Lorene. She'll come back.
Okay, you came to tell me what? How did you know where I was?
I found a matchstick on my driveway. I traced it to a restaurant in Billiston.
I told you I'd phone you.
I wanted to tell you right away that I'd talked to Lorene.
Who was the other guy?
The other guy? He was a fellow from my office. He's helping me find Lorene.
Oh, well, that was pretty stupid of you.
I told him not to go there. That's why I showed up, to get him away. That's why we had the fight.
Oh, okay. So you saw Lorene, so?
I'm not answering any more questions about Lorene until I find out how my wife is.
She's all right.
I don't believe you.
She's here, and she's all right.
If she's there, let me talk to her.
It's your husband. Say something.
Hello? Ben, darling.
Carolyn, are you all right?
Yes, I'm all right. I'm all right, please.
That's enough. All right, Forbes, now what about Lorene?
She wants time. She seemed to be willing to come back. She just wants time to think it over.
Well, she's not going to get any more time. I'm calling again tomorrow at noon. You have her there, ready to talk. I won't wait. I know how long it takes to trace a call. You want to see your wife again, Forbes? Don't bother tracking me down again. Don't bother even trying to trace this call because I won't be here.
Guthrie. Guthrie. He's calling tomorrow. He's calling tomorrow at noon. He wants Lorene here. You gave me all the other answers. Give me the answer to that one.
Guthrie must have gone to that waterfront dive. If you'd stayed away, Packer would have nailed him. Carolyn would have been here, safe, right now.
Lorene's got to be here tomorrow noon, Roy. She's got to.
I've turned it over to the police, Ben.
You've done what?
Packer's a plainclothes man from New York.
I thought you had more sense than that, Roy. You don't care about people. All you care about is matching wits, making a kill.
Would you advise a client to withhold information from the police on a kidnapping?
When it hits home, you toss the law books away. Now, if you want to do something constructive, get Lorene here by noon tomorrow.
Tough break last night. If Forbes had stayed away 10 more minutes, I'd have nabbed Guthrie.
It's a tough break for me, having Ben find out the police are on the case. We've been friends for years, and now we're at each other's throats. I know he thinks I'm being cold and unemotional about it, but he's dealt with criminals for years. He ought to know you have to be that way. You know that.
I know it. My wife hasn't been kidnapped.
Yes, Gene. Put him on. Snyder. Hello? You did? Good. Where? 375 Wycliffe Street? Look, pick up Forbes and meet me there. 2 weeks ago, Lorene Masters took the beautician's test. This is her address. Can you get the equipment to record Guthrie's next phone call?
Yeah, I'll run it up to Forbes' house right away. Have I got time for a quick shave?
Yes, but be sure you get there before noon. Hi.
Lorene?
Mr. Forbes.
Is it all right if we come in for a minute?
Oh, sure. Gee, everything's a mess. There.
Lorene, there's something very important I've got to ask you about.
Oh, sure, Mr. Forbes. Who are you?
I'm Captain Snyder, police. This is Mr. Markham.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Lorene, when you came to me about your divorce, you needed help, and I gave it to you.
Your divorce. Something's gone wrong with it?
No.
Oh. Well, then what?
It's Al. He's taken my wife.
What do you mean, taken?
Kidnapped her.
She may be killed, Lorene, unless you help.
Oh, no.
Al blames me for helping you get a divorce, for taking you away from him.
Oh, no. Oh, gee, Mr. Forbes, I'm so sorry. How can I help?
He says if he gets you back, I get my wife back.
Gee, Mr. Forbes, I'm sorry about your wife, but going back to Al.
You may be preventing a murder, Mrs. Guthrie.
You don't know Al. Look. No, I might be walking right into a murder. Me. My own. No.
Lorene, listen. The day after you see Al, you can meet him again. I'll give you all the money you need for the rest of your life.
I don't.
You can go anywhere you want, far away from her then.
Mr. Forbes, he doesn't want me back. He wants to hurt me. For leaving him and for telling the things that he did to me. And he might even kill me. Oh, you don't know how he can hold a grudge. You just don't know, Mr. Forbes.
Mrs. Guthrie, if we promise you won't have to go back to your husband, will you help us?
Oh. Well, I guess so. Mr. Forbes has been so good to me, and I guess so.
He wants to hear your voice on the phone. He wants to hear you say you'll come back to him.
But I don't have to go.
No. He'd probably arrange a time and place for a meeting, and then we'll grab him.
But I don't have to go to meetings.
No, I promise you. Please, Lorraine. Please.
Well, if it's going to be that way, then I guess so.
Think Forbes can keep under control when Guthrie calls?
It's her I'm worried about.
I can't go through with it. I'm sick.
You can't back out now?
You hang up?
Answer it. Stall him.
Hello? Yes? Yes, Guthrie?
Think what Al will do if we don't catch him. You've got to help us put him away where he can't hurt you anymore. You've got to.
Yes, sure, I talked to her. Yes, of course. Sure, she's here. Yes, she'll come to the phone.
I gave you a time limit, Forbes. Quit stalling.
He won't wait. He's suspicious. I'm not stalling, Guthrie. She's going to talk to you now.
Okay.
Yeah, give me a minute. Al?
Lorene, that you?
Yeah, it's me.
You sound funny.
Well, what do you mean I sound funny? Why should I sound funny?
Are you alone with Forbes?
Oh, sure. Sure, I've been
Are you sure nobody else is there?
Oh, sure. Now, I've been thinking that I'd give you another chance if you promise not to hurt me. Like you did before.
Put Forbes on.
He wants to talk to you.
All right, Guthrie, go ahead.
You be at your house at 7 o'clock tonight. You'll receive your first order.
All right. You've got his picture. You got my files on him. I'll let you record his voice. For all I know, he's calling from across the street. Suppose he saw all these people. This is as far as I go with the police. When Guthrie calls this evening, I want Lorene here, and that's all. Catch your criminal later. Just let me get my wife back first. Okay, Guthrie, go ahead.
Be at your house at 7 tonight. You'll get your first order.
You'll get your first order. First order. Now, obviously, we're going to be given a series of orders and directives. Like that treasure hunt we played when we were kids, you know? Being sent from one point to another, following leads.
That'd give him a chance to hide out at any point and observe or step in whenever the time looked best. You know, we'll have to be pretty cautious if we put a tail on Forbes and Lorene when they go to meet him.
We can't put a tail on them. Too dangerous. Right now, if I do one thing out of line and Guthrie smells it, 3 people are apt to wind up dead. Lorene, Forbes, and his wife.
2, Harry. Lorene in there hasn't said she'll go along yet.
Well, maybe someone can talk her into it. That is, if she'll stop shaking long enough to listen.
Maybe we can give her some sort of protection.
How? Unless we tail them.
Well, I was thinking, couldn't we put a shortwave radio transmitter in Ben Forbes' car? You know, sort of make him an earthbound satellite. That way we get a fix on Ben's car at all times. And it might give her just that little bit of assurance that'll convince her it's safe to go along.
I'll leave that little piece of salesmanship up to you.
You know, you're awfully kind. Hello, Mrs. Guthrie. We appreciate your help today.
Well, gee, I want to do all I can, Mr. Markham.
Well, would it be all right if we went along to your apartment and picked up one of your dresses and a handbag and some shoes and things?
What for?
Well, we have to send a policewoman along with Mr. Forbes tonight, and she's got to look as much like you as possible.
Oh. Yeah, I guess that's all right.
Right.
She's supposed to look like me?
Yes, but she doesn't really, but it was the best we could do. Of course, I don't know what your husband will do when he gets a close look at her.
Gosh, Mr. Markham, I talked on the phone like you asked. They said I wouldn't have to go to Al, and you promised. Remember?
Yes, we understand.
Well?
But just remember this. You went to Mr. Forbes once when you were in trouble. You were terrified, just like he is now. You asked him to help you, and he did. Now, he knew you couldn't afford it, but he didn't even mention money. And now, through no fault of his own, just because he was kind to a total stranger, he finds himself in this terrible jam.
I know. I've been thinking of it just like that. And I really want to help him all I can. Boy, he was nice.
And going along with him tonight won't be that bad. We're putting a shortwave radio in his car. We'll be able to spot it at all times, know where you are every second.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You mean no matter where we go to meet Al?
No matter where. You see, if we were to follow you, Al might catch on.
I don't know. But I wouldn't feel quite so much alone.
Of course you wouldn't.
Maybe I could do it.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Guthrie. Now, the most important thing of all.
No, wait a minute. I didn't say I'd really do it.
Ben Forbes mustn't know that his car has been wired. No matter what happens, you can't tell him.
But...
because he'd tear it out in a minute. You do understand, don't you?
Yes, sure, I understand, Mr. Markham.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
I appreciate what you're doing, Lorene. Thanks. Hello? Yes. Yes, she's here. Yes, we're ready. All right, go ahead. All right, we'll be there.
Well?
I'm sorry, Roy. I can't trust you. You called in the police. You had Packer snoop around Billiston. I can't take any more chances with you. We'd better go, Lorene. He only gave us so much time to get there.
Get it? Yeah. Guthrie's directions were go to Jack's seafood shanty, take the second booth from the door, and you'll find a note tacked under the table.
Where is this place?
It's in Billiston, right on the pier there. You gonna follow?
Technically, no. I'm gonna beat him.
This is station number 1, receiving signal bearing 103 degrees. Signal strong.
This is station number 6, receiving signal bearing 132 degrees. Signal weak.
FBI?
Yeah, they want us to continue as long as we're already in motion.
This is station number 14, receiving signal bearing 223 degrees.
It's working fine. Triangulation places Forbes' car here, heading for Billiston and the seafood shanty.
Somebody in the second booth. They'll be out in a second. Two beers. He gives us 20 minutes to get to the Arlington train station. Locker number 6.
I don't trust him.
Come on. We just have 20 minutes.
This is station number 22, signal bearing 137 degrees, growing stronger.
Moving north. It's toward Arlington.
He keeps sending us to crowded places. Anyone could have seen us at the seafood shanty or pier. We have a half hour to get to Bridgeton. Near the intersection of 3rd and Main, a blue sedan will be in the alley. Look in the glove compartment.
This is station number 5, just started receiving signal. Faint, but increasing.
That'd make it about 264 degrees.
Yeah, he's heading east now, away from the coast, towards Bridgeton.
That's Al's car.
He said to look in the glove compartment. Come on. This is sadistic.
What do you want now?
He wants us to take this car and drive to the next place in 20 minutes.
No. 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 Oh, no.
It's only his way of losing anyone who might be following us. Come on.
No, I won't go in that car. I'll go in your car.
Lorraine, please. You've gone this far. You've done everything he's asked. What's so terrible about changing cars?
It's Al's car. I can't explain. Oh, please, Mr. Forbes, don't make me go in that car.
Lorraine, please. He only gives us 20 minutes. The next stop may be where Carolyn is.
Don't know what you're asking me to do.
Yes, I do, but I think I've got a right to ask. If you came to my office in the first place, I did what you wanted me to. Now I'm begging you to help me. You can talk to your husband calm him. If anyone can handle him, you can. You can. Please, please.
All right, Mr. Forbes. I guess if I back out now, some nice people might get killed. If I go, I don't know. There's always a chance.
This is station number 10, signal still holding steady.
They've been there for 15 minutes. They must have finally met up with Guthrie.
I don't think so. It doesn't feel right to me.
It feels just right to me, and I'm going to go out and surround the area. Let's go, boys.
When Guthrie gets to Lorene, he's got to make a run for it. He's got a kidnapping charge to face. Now, he can either go this way, or this. Or he can be waiting for them right here at the seafood shanty. A fast boat run up to Canada, and he's on his way to losing us.
That's the only thing that makes sense for Guthrie.
You know, it's a mistake to think that a warped mind is a stupid mind. You hang on, hold the fort here. I may want to call you.
Right on the dot. Your old man's real smart, Mrs. Forbes.
Over to the door.
I'll open it. Forbes?
Yes?
Tell Lorene to get out of the car.
Lorene?
Turn that spotlight on her. All right, now turn it off and get out.
You all right?
All right, break it up, you two. We're going on a little boat trip.
Wait a minute, Guthrie.
Shut up, lawyer.
You've got your wife. What do you want with us?
Into the boat.
Thanks, Roy.
Now, will you call the police?
Sure. How'd you know where to find us?
When you're dealing with a mind like Al Guthrie, the shortest distance between 2 points isn't always a straight line. Sometimes it's a circle.